Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the IT department.
Yep. The podcast for people. Yes.
Yeah.
And welcome to our very late episode on a certain movie that came out last month.
Yes, because, well, to give you a brief rundown of what happened,
That's my fault.
Well, hold on. Let me take some blame for this. I brought the weekend it came out, right?
Yeah, you said the weekend.
I saw it the weekend it came out, and then I tried to bully Tim into watching it. And then you did about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I said this is partially me to blame is because I was unavailable last week to record. So, this episode being as late as it is both of our faults, but mostly Tim.
Yes, mostly.
Yeah. So, yeah, sorry guys that we missed last week due to the way things had ended up.
We just both kind of had busy schedules.
Yeah, it ended up working out. But hey, it happens, and we're back.
We are back. All right. You know what? Maybe one day, if one of us is not available, we still want to record. Just invite Cameron back, and then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything for maintenance besides that? There was no. Sorry for no episode next week. Last week.
No, that's pretty much it.
We'll probably have an episode next week. I meant last week. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do Twitch R&D. We're both kind of busy today as well. So.
Little quick thing here. What do you got? What's first?
So I'll mention the Lego Incredibles game, which honestly to me it's kind of sketchy. After the last game was Lego Dimensions, which kind of I don't know. I never really played Lego Dimensions, but it kind of seemed weird to me. The whole Skylanders type thing deal about with the Lego, and how if you wanted to play the Lego Batman movie game, you can only play it through Lego Dimensions. Kind of seems sketchy to me, but that was
Okay, yeah. Did they release the Lego movie game after Lego Dimensions? Does that come after the Lego movie?
no. The Lego movie game came before Lego Dimensions.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Lego Dimensions tries to encapsulate everything together. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it seems a little too ambitious, to be honest. But
And then the last real Lego game was Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which is pretty bad because it was completely drawn out, like 100% drawn out. He's looking at straight shots for Lego.
yeah, I'm on the Steam page for the.
Yeah, it was completely drawn out. It had multi builds, and which kind of like ruined the pacing of the game because sometimes you had to like build the same thing three times. And then there's these new little. I thought that was like a caterpillar for a second.
No, it's Dash.
It's Dash running.
It's just Dash.
But then there's these little scenes where you be in like a shooting gallery, where you can like have to hide behind things or roll behind things that really ruined the pace of like the later game where it's supposed to be fast and quick.
Yeah.
Made you have to strategically like shoot places. It just wasn't that fun. There was one level. There's 15 levels of the whole game. 10 of them are part of the Force Awakens story. Four of them are extended stories of certain characters. One of them is the Battle of Endor, which was fine.
So do they include it at the very beginning?
Yeah, that's the first level you play.
So it's sort of like what they did with the Lego Star Wars 3 Clone Wars, where they included the Battle of Geonosis at the beginning. Is it sort of like that? Because I remember that Lego Star Wars 3 did that. Because they were just doing the Clone Wars TV series.
Yeah.
But the first thing was the start of the Clone Wars with the Geonosis arena.
Oh, that one. There's the complete saga and there's the Clone Wars 3. For 4, who knows? But, that made sense, yeah. But that's kind of the same thing.
So it's kind of the same concept starting off where... Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but the thing is, one of the levels for The Force Awakens was literally you were stuck in the Rebel base the whole time, just getting supplies ready to go to Starkiller base. That's pretty boring. And BB-8 could do half of everything. So And they ruin a bunch of stuff like C-3PO can fight now, which he's not supposed to.
That's not good. The most droids could ever do is like electrocute.
Yeah.
And that was just if you're an astromech.
Yeah, but now they can go like.
No.
So yeah, no.
Nope.
All right, yeah, we'll just leave it on that. Hopefully they get rid of multi-builds and kind of make it good. All right, Ian, go.
Well, the other thing we have is, of course, The Last Jedi was
It's on Blu-ray now.
Released on Blu-ray. I have not purchased it
I have.
For myself yet, but I have watched blooper reels online. Gag reels are always fun.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the gag reels?
I've seen some of them.
Yeah, so
Did you see the Andy Serkis live thing?
I did watch the clip of him in the mocap suit delivering.
Apparently, it's longer than the DVD.
Huh?
Well,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because they just released like a short teaser clip of what it looked like, and as I've said many times before on the podcast, that's emphasizing more so Andy Serkis' point that performance capture is no different from any other kind of acting. You're just you're just in a suit.
Yeah.
But you're still acting. Yeah. So, but in one of the gag reels, like Mark Hamill was in like Poe's X-Wing.
Oh.
And he's just like, let's see if I can remember the controls. And he's like, oh, look, it's the targeting computer. I don't need it anyway. So.
Yeah, I was reading an article, I was watching the movie last night, and it kind of said how this kind of fully encapsulated the stories of the prequels, and how some guy liked the prequels in the sense that the Jedi were this like corrupt organization, and how everyone has the Force, but the Jedi use the midi-chlorians, just kind of say, making it exclusive club, only the people they want.
Sure.
And then it's kind of the story of a prophecy of a...
I've said this before, and once I get the movie and watch it again, we'll probably have a full episode for The Last Jedi. Because we've talked a lot about it, like in R&D, over the past few episodes. So I think it deserves its own dedicated episode. But I've always felt that the stuff with Rey and Kylo, and especially Luke, were the best parts of the movie.
I forgot how much when I was watching the beginning of it yesterday, because I only watched about half of it.
Mm-hmm.
How good like the Snoke and the Kylo Ren scenes were, because you see the first scene where he gets up and electrocutes the floor, and I just completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then you see these knights like just kind of freak out and then go back to normal.
Oh, real fast! Did you see a thing on Twitter of the Led Zeppelin's "Immigrant" song?
I saw that. I didn't watch it.
Oh, you should have, because there you go. Thor Ragnarok is such a pop culture influence now.
Yeah.
That you just insert "Immigrant" song into your fight scene, and bam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like the writing in those scenes with Luke, where he's talking about the Jedi Order, and the Force and all, I think that was very well done.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite parts of Last Jedi.
It also explains, the article talks about how the Force works a bit, and how Snoke explains when dark appears, light will come and stop it. And that's kind of Anakin right there. He was the Force.
For sure.
He was the Force creating the dark. He was the Force making it darkness to come about all the light.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rey, of course, was because Luke shut himself off from the Force. Spoiler, but it's old, so you probably know that. But
This came out in December.
yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, joke's on you. But Luke's come off of himself from the Force, and because of that, the Force sends another person of light to stop him. And Luke explains that he's like thinking if the Jedi die, that the light disappears is vanity.
Right.
He says that, and first when I thought that, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But now I'm like, that makes sense, because he's like, thinking the Jedi own the Force is vanity. The light will always come back.
I always took an appreciation for those scenes. Like you will never hear me complain about scenes with Luke in it, because I was always connected and immersed in those scenes.
Most Poe scenes are good for me, but then the Fenn Rose scenes would probably just be out of the movie.
Another thing in the gag reel, I think Oscar Isaac was in the cockpit and he was like spouting Spanish.
Oh.
He was like, guys, he's like being very aggressive Spanish in the cockpit. And I was like, dang it, I want that in the final cut.
But you couldn't speak Spanish.
Also, he got slapped like 30 times by Carrie Fisher.
I didn't see him scream in Spanish, but I saw him get slapped by Carrie Fisher like a bunch.
Hey, whatever it takes to get the final cut. I feel like 90% of those takes were unnecessary. But it's fun to get slapped by Carrie Fisher.
Oh, it's not Carrie Fisher. She's dead.
It didn't?
It wasn't Carrie Fisher.
Well, when you see the other side of the shot,
yeah,
it is Carrie Fisher. But.
Oh. All right. So, topic.
The last thing.
Last thing.
Just to mention that Ready Player One
came out. And we'll probably be doing an episode on it soon once we watch it. This is supposed to be this week's episode, but we didn't watch it because we were busy.
Because this week's mandatory meeting is Black Panther.
Yes, Black Panther, the movie that came out a month ago. So yeah.
And we're going to have our discussion on it, because we already had our episode where we talked about speculation and all that kind of thing. And now we've both seen the movie, and now we're going to talk about it. So my first question for you, Tim, if you can remember your speculation, how close were you?
I don't remember it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't remember it all. We probably should have listened to that, but who cares?
Here we are now.
I'm sure I was completely wrong. Maybe I was right. I don't know. Because I don't think I was right, because the whole plot encapsulates a guy seeking revenge and then trying to, in a weird way, trying to serve justice for people that, I guess, but in like a way that probably would have been bad for them as well. So, yeah, that.
So I think I remember you called me, right?
Yes, I called you.
Called you just after you had finished
Yeah.
seeing it to tell me that you really liked it and you were, we had to do the next episode. So if you could go to a little more depth of your first reactions.
First reactions, well, obviously, when you come out of the theater, it's usually, for me, it's a singular feeling of liking or disliking. And so when I first came out of Force Awakens, it was a singular feeling of like. That's what I liked. I just liked it completely. But usually there's a thing in me, like when I first saw Force Awakens, the first opening shot when I saw BB-8, there was like a feeling in me like, you're not going to like this movie. And eventually I came to just not like it. Not like it as much, I should say.
Yeah.
But then with like Rogue One, I saw the first opening shot and there was an immediate feeling like, this is going to be good. And then Black Panther, it was pretty much, I saw this opening shot and I'm like, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And so far, it's still going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. I liked what they did there. And it was quick and easy, and the exposition didn't bog you down.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things in movies where if the beginning of your movie is going to be exposition, then that can be a hindrance to the story. But it didn't, because it was part of the story.
Yeah.
Because it was T'Challa's father telling him a story. So it fit within the story. It wasn't, because it could have been T'Challa giving narration.
Well, the first opening scene was the when he was confronting his brother.
Yes. So like right after that.
Yeah, right after that. Yeah.
With when he's explaining the vibranium.
The vibranium
and all that, and the culture of Wakanda.
The tribes.
That could have come across. That could have been done as a just voiceover narration by T'Challa.
Yeah.
And just been really like, oh, okay, thanks for the exposition, but okay. But back to the actual opening of the film, I think it works really well as well, because the scene where Black Panther deploys out of his ship into the jungle.
Yeah.
That could have been your opening.
Yeah.
That could have been an equally exciting opening, but no, they were just like, the opening of our movie is not in Wakanda.
Yeah.
It's and you in the beginning, I saw the scene. I'm just like, okay, it's like where are we going with this? And then of course later on in the movie with Killmonger and all that, you begin to you make that connection and you realize just how important that opening scene is.
Yeah, the opening scene is further cut in as Killmonger does certain things, and like he sees his father again in a certain place, which we'll probably get into when we go spoilers. But it's just sort of that opening scene is like the most important scene in the movie to remember. If you remember the parts of the opening scene, you'll remember pretty much. The story makes complete sense, and the add-on to the opening scene as the movie goes on. The opening scene ends, but doesn't end completely once that part's over.
Yeah, they return to that area.
Yeah,
so to speak. Well, physically, in terms of the set, but
also,
also, in reference in the story, as well. And that's walking out of the theater of Black Panther. I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
It was very satisfying to watch, and one of the things that I remember immediately thinking was how different it felt, and I was very glad that we were able to get that, because you could still detect that it was a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But walking out of it, I was just like, it was different, and it was sort of the welcoming different, because like I like this new thing, because it should be new, it shouldn't be familiar Marvel, because I remember when in the beginning of the movie, when they first enter Wakanda, they go through the cloaking shield, into Wakanda, and they're showing off all the little sisters showing off all the technology.
Yeah.
There was just a very quick moment that I had where I was like, don't disagree with this. It's like, accept this, because it should be new to you. It should be kind of surprising, because you never got to see Wakanda.
Yeah.
So now that you do, it's like you should get used to this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, as soon as I did that, I was just like, I like this. I like how new this is. I like this new take on things, because this entire world that's been closed off from everything else, from the from the world that we recognize, the world that we know, but it's there and it exists and there's a culture there. So I was like, I like this. As soon as I accepted it, and it was really fast, I was like, yeah, this is new. It's fresh. Let's go.
I just got very Q vibes when the sister's showing me off her lab. I'm like, oh, hey Q. Oh, yeah. 7 here. Yeah. Just need my new Black Panther suit and my new car that you can drive.
You can drive. I'd seen in some places, just overall in the movie, that it could have used 1 or 2 more action sequences.
As our good friend says, he thought it was... he said there was like 15 minutes of action, which I think there was more, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But he said there's 15 minutes of action, and he said half of it was still drawn out somehow. Mm-hmm. Which I think the opening fight, the end fight scene, could have been a little shorter, but no.
Yeah, well, and I gave some thought to that, regarding the action of it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe. But at the same time, thinking about the story that it was telling and the way the characters were going, I was like, I wouldn't want to sacrifice that just to have more action. So, what I would do is, even if it made the movie longer, add in action sequences if it fit, but I wouldn't want to sacrifice any of the good writing in the characters and the storytelling that Ryan Coogler had constructed. Yeah.
All right, you want to go into some spoilers now?
Yeah, I think because that'll be easier to do stuff if we go into spoilers.
Right.
So, if you have not seen Black Panther,
we implore you to stop listening.
We encourage you to stop here and then finish the episode when you have.
Yes, when you have. Cut back to the 19th minute and come visit us. All right.
Here we go. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Claw dies.
Yeah.
So if you didn't... Also, Killmonger dies. So if you decided to listen to spoilers, you just got spoiled.
There you go. People die.
Yeah, people die. I thought Claw's death was... Though I do like Andy Serkis, was completely needed for the movie. Do you think that?
Yeah, because in the beginning, in that museum scene, when you're introduced to Killmonger, and sort of reintroduced to Claw because you saw Claw in Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
you're reintroduced to Claw and some of his henchmen, and in that moment, you view Killmonger as one of them. Now, I'm not demeaning him in any way. I'm not saying that he's just another lackey.
Yeah.
But in that particular scene, in that particular moment, you see, or at least I saw Killmonger as someone just in allegiance with Claw.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Killmonger was, a slave to him. I'm not, no pun intended there, to Killmonger's message and pursuits, but he was just in allegiance with them. And then of course is like, well, of course he is, because he needs to get to Wakanda.
Yeah, and there's only a way to get to Wakanda because they don't let outsiders in. If he just walks in doing this with a the mouth thing.
Yeah, the code under the lip.
How did he get that installed when he hasn't been in Wakanda? I don't know. Maybe it's a birth thing.
Yeah.
But if he just walked in doing this, they're probably gonna be like, "Who the heck are you? Go out, get out of here."
Yeah, he has a goal there.
Yeah, he has a goal.
And that's what I really like, because we knew Claude was going to be in the movie, and I was just like, well, is he going to like come to Wakanda and stuff, and like try to wreak havoc, because like it's not going to end well for him.
Yeah.
Seeing all the technology they have, it's like, no, of course not.
It doesn't end well for him anyway when he tries to sell vibranium South Korea, right?
Yeah, because then he gets in a fight.
Gets into a fight. He loses his arm.
Because Killmonger's leading you along, because he breaks out.
Yeah.
Claw, but it's only for his purposes of, okay, now I can kill him.
Yeah.
And I've succeeded in my part of his plan. Now it's time for me to take over. And it was genius the way he went about it, because the movie very quickly establishes in that boneyard scene where he kills everybody that Killmonger is the villain of the movie. It's not Claw.
He doesn't really give a crap who he kills. He was an Afghan veteran, or was it Afghan?
I think it was Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And he was special forces, and
he was called Killmonger because he just killed everyone.
He just racked up so many kills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he had all the scars from everyone he killed, which must be horrible to sleep with. Just like, really can't be comfortable, But yeah, he doesn't really care who dies. Like, if it's his cause of helping his people, I guess that's what he calls them, right? That's what he says. Hit my people.
Something like that.
Something like that. He help his people see justice for what happened.
Ancestors.
Ancestors, like happened to their ancestors in the past. See justice by murdering everyone.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess he's just a murder everyone in my face.
Well, I watched a video, but I think the channel is How to Write.
Oh.
And he does video essays about the writing of movies and stuff like that. And he did a thing about Black Panther, where he talked about how Killmonger, just in the depth of his character, because it's a really in-depth character.
Yeah.
Very well written character. How he's always wanted to see Wakanda.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to be a part of that culture, but unfortunately, because of his actions and because of his goals, he never actually gets to see Wakanda as he's been told about it, and that's really because of him.
Yeah.
Because of his own actions, he will never really get to be a part of it. So that's sort of the tragic look. It's a beagle.
It is a beagle.
So that's sort of the tragic side.
Yeah.
Of it, is that as much as he wants to go about his goals of this social justice for the people of the world, it's like, hey, Wakanda, you have this technology and you ain't using it,
That's not really what they should do anyway with their technology.
kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like way too extreme on the line.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's the reason he never really truly gets to see Wakanda for what his father told him about what it was like, and so on. But there was the moment at the end, when T'Challa and Killmonger have the moment in the sunset,
and he's just like, I don't want to die. I don't want to be healed. Just pulls out the knife. Yeah, that's how he dies.
And I think that was good. The stance that T'Challa ends up being in is, okay, yes, I agree. This technology can be used to help the world, but not in the way that you would want to use them. But providing weapons to people to uprise and to overthrow, that's not what we want to do.
Which he kind of takes what the Tony Stark sort of thing in Iron Man, except he didn't see it used against him.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark was the old arrogant arms dealer, like, I'm super rich, until it got used against him, and then he completely backed down. T'Challa makes weapons for his country, which I get. His country is like just makes weapons, but that's not what he's going to give people.
Right.
Like, Killmonger would have taken the Iron Man sort of approach of just giving weapons freely, or the old Iron Man or Tony Stark approach, but he probably wouldn't.
In the Joker, and how the Joker seriously affects the decisions that Batman makes in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Same in turn with Killmonger, and the way that Killmonger affects the decisions of Black Panther and the way he goes about thinking about things. Because if everything stays so one-sided the entire time, and it's very, you can't get into it.
Yeah.
But both characters have so much depth there, and I will say as a part of that the waterfall fight between Killmonger and Black Panther, I thought I enjoyed much more than the final fight, because. And it's not because the final fight was, had visual effects or stuff like that. The reason I enjoyed it, because I wouldn't want to diss that final fight, because the final fight I also enjoyed. But the waterfall fight for me, because there was a point to be made. There was a goal that had to come across, and I think the stakes were actually much higher in that sense. Not just because they didn't have armor or because T'Challa didn't have the strength of the Black Panther.
Yeah.
But the fight there, that waterfall fight between Killmonger and Black Panther, is like you could feel the tension there in that fight. It's like even if you know that they're gonna have a big fight later on in their fancy schmancy vibranium suits, you still know that waterfall fight is.
And also, I couldn't get over the father's eye when you went to the spirit dimension. I couldn't get over his eye because his left eye is normal, or his right eye, that would be his right eye.
No.
Then his left eye that just couldn't close. Like it just was like droopy, like Force Awakens, but more. So it just wouldn't close, and it kind of just bothered me. Which probably was not what I should have taken away from those scenes. But
just something I know. The thing that kind of bothered me was at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
When they go to is it Oakland?
Yes.
California? Yeah. To the apartment.
Yeah.
Right? Just the way the line was delivered, where it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, this is where our father killed our uncle. And it just seems sort of dry.
It is kind of seem
in that moment. Because I realized that T'Challa has had this change.
Yeah.
This realization about Wakanda and about his father. But I felt that this change in view of his father shouldn't necessarily all of a sudden make him feel that he wants to forget his father.
Oh yeah.
But just the way he said it seemed as if his father was no longer important to him.
It does.
And that's just a very little thing because it's just one line.
Yeah.
But it just sort of felt awkward when that happened. It's like, this is where our father killed our uncle, and I'm like, it just seemed to me that he had all of a sudden hated his father.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like that because he talks to his father in town when he's about to die, and his father's like, "Come join us." He's like, "You are not your kin," pretty much. That's pretty much what he's saying. And then he kind of leaves, and it's just kind of like he does a 180, where his father was this perfect guy, his father was this imperfect guy, but because his father was imperfect, his entire ideal of him is gone, and he just completely hates him.
So maybe if I think of it that way, because the idol of it is gone.
Yeah.
And to idolize something is to really exaggerate.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as you remove the idolization, so maybe if I think about it that way, but
you kind of do see his idolization in Civil War as well with his father. His whole revenge complex.
Yeah, sure. I agree. But I just kind of wish there was a little bit more of a clearer resolution at the end of the film. That he still respects his father for the good things that he did, but will, of course, keep in mind the things that he could have done better and the things he wish he didn't do.
Yeah.
And the way he's going to go about that, of course, is to do better.
Yeah.
To do this, of course, respect his father, but do better.
Yeah.
And the way we're going to do that is show up to a UN conference and then, show off your toys to the world.
I was kind of hoping the last little scene of that thing was him, showing off, the hologram thing. But nope, he didn't. He just kind of sat there and smiled.
Which at the same time, I kind of like too. Because the audience, of course, knows exactly what it is now. Because you've seen Wakanda at that point.
Yeah.
The world doesn't. So that kind of teaser was just like, I like that.
So is Bleeding Edge made of vibranium then? Is the Bleeding Edge Iron Man?
Bleeding Edge armor made of vibranium. I do not know.
Yeah. But so we have to think of it this way.
We're talking about Iron Man, by the way, now.
Yeah, we're talking about I'm gonna segue into with the idea of vibranium being entirely in the society of the world now. If that's what Black Panther did, instead of just saying, "Oh, let's give you our."
Well, how long does Infinity War take place after Black Panther?
It takes place 2 years after Civil War, and Black Panther is pretty much right after Civil War. Or there's an
yeah.
MCU timeline. Because the MCU timeline is pretty much broken anyway.
Well, I hope after Infinity War, at least before the Infinity War, because Kevin Feige has said that they will come out with a definitive, official timeline. And I hope so. And I hope it makes sense.
Yeah. But you see if Black Panther is directly after Civil War, or a couple months after Civil War, then that would mean it comes before Spider-Man Homecoming. It comes out in September of 2016, which takes place 2 or 3 months right after Civil War. And that's why I still like calling Iron Man all the time, because it's only 2 months after Civil War. And then Black Panther probably happens in, I'd say, October or something. But if it happens right after, it happened in like July, which means Vibranium would be in the society right as a Spider-Man Homecoming is there. But also, if it happens in October, like I think it does, then that would mean Vibranium would be in society during the end of Doctor Strange. So the MCU timeline's broken.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Strange happens after Civil War and after Spider-Man Homecoming. The opening part of it happens early 2016. The end part of it happens November 2016.
This is all interesting stuff to keep in mind.
And then November 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 happens, which means a big giant blow up in Mississippi happened in 2014. Before the Age of Ultron thing. Before any of that. So that means...
Giant blue blob, yeah.
Giant blue blob. So that happened around the time S.H.I.E.L.D. would have fallen apart. Or right after S.H.I.E.L.D. would probably fell apart.
Okay, so maybe that's why... This is interesting stuff, folks.
So, in Infinity War, how much vibranium technology do you think we'll see on Earth?
Well, what I was thinking is that, because of, the stuff that Claw would do on the black market with just selling vibranium.
Yeah.
And the stuff that Ultron did with vibranium, for what he planned to do with it.
He made Vision with vibranium.
So what I'm thinking is, as far as technology goes, that Wakanda will supply, fully made technology. They're not going to give raw vibranium. That's what I'm thinking. Because if they distribute raw vibranium, then they no longer have sort of regulation and control over it.
Oh, yeah.
But if they sell sounds like the wrong word. If they distribute completed...
still probably sell it.
Yeah. completed technology, something designed for a specific purpose, then I think that's fine. But I don't think they would distribute raw vibranium because they know how much of a danger that could be.
Yeah.
And of course, weapons, I don't think would
no
be.
Weapons, I think.
And if they would provide weapons, they would do it to people they only trust, but I don't think they would still.
I think the only people that all probably end up with raw vibranium are large corporations. Probably something like Dell or something that my computer's made of. Because imagine a vibranium laptop. I mean, my laptop's all right, I guess.
Transistors and chips using vibranium. That would be.
Oh yeah, certain companies I think would get vibranium, just raw vibranium. But I don't think they would allow Ian says raw
vibranium.
Raw vibranium to enter the world market like that. Because first off, that would crash the market pretty much instantly. Because they think...
Because then everything would just become redundant.
Because the only vibranium we know of that was outside of Wakanda is Captain America's shield. And that's it. That's the only vibranium that's been found outside of Wakanda. Because the rest of it, the one that Claw had in Avengers Age of Ultron, he stole from Wakanda. Supposedly all of it. From T'Challa's father's saying. And then we have the one spearhead in the British Museum made of vibranium was from Wakanda.
And I'd just like to say, because it seems something that Tony Stark would do. So if we're going to say, and it's probably likely that they're not distributing raw vibranium, that Tony... And obviously they won't spend that much time on it, if any at all. The way I picture it is, there's a vibranium product out in the world.
Yeah.
Tony obtains it, and the ingenuity and scientist that he is, he's just breaks it down, see how to imitate it. Maybe bleeding edge isn't necessarily vibranium, but he finds a way to imitate it. He looks as hey, there's a vibranium piece of technology, and then he studies the crap out of it and all its properties and the way it works, and then he bases his armor off of it.
Well, you have to think of it. He's super rich, and all the technology in Black Panther is completely vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
They power stuff with vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
So what he could also do is he'd go to the store, get a big shopping cart full of like vibranium hollow discs, and then just because they're completely made of vibranium, just melt it all down and make the suit out of it. He could also do that.
Yeah, but that's just within the character.
Yeah.
To be have that kind of ingenuity.
Yeah, that kind of seems like what he would do more, just either imitate vibranium or use actual vibranium, like use the resources he can to make the bleeding edge suit. Because the bleeding edge suit obviously is different than the other Iron Man suits because we see in the one Avengers trailer it makes the Megafoot.
That's right. Yep.
And then it has wings. We've seen in concept art and there's like toys and other things that he has wings on his bleeding edge suit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure it's vibranium because I don't think normal metals can do that.
No. Yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But back to the topic at hand, Black Panther. I was going to talk about the final fight scene.
Oh yeah.
When I was thinking, I guess if they wanted to up action ante a little bit more, because how they were doing.
Kind of 3 fights at once.
When they fell into the pit.
Yeah.
And they're fighting on the train thing.
Yeah.
The mag train. What I was thinking that they could have done that might have looked cool was because those new suits builds up to kinetic energy, which is really cool, by the way. Like you especially get to see that in the South Korea sequence of how cool that kinetic energy new Black Panther suit is.
You see him like touch a car once and just
exactly, and it's really cool technology.
Yeah.
So of course they have these fancy smancy kinetic energy suits, and I think it would have been cool to see what would have happened if this kinetic energy was like built up.
Yeah.
And then like they destabilize the train, or something like that.
Well, remember when the train comes on, the vibranium just kind of stops working.
Yeah.
They vibrate the vibranium enough that it stops working. You see the suits kind of falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
You see the suits going like.
Yeah.
That sounds.
So obviously it wouldn't be easy to do, but if it were possible that the kinetic energy was built up and like they destroyed like the pillars.
Yeah.
Accidentally. But the train still comes through, and it just like malfunctions through that area.
Oh yeah, the train falls off, and they jump off the train. They're fighting a falling train. That would have been cool.
I'm glad they didn't fight on top of the train necessarily, because Spider-Man 2 really kind of set the standard for how train fight sequences do.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Because I think it's Dr. Octopus and all that, which is a really good sequence. And I don't know. He's older than my son.
Carrying him on her back.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that. They didn't have, Killmonger, Black Panther fight on top of the train.
Just imagining the Spider-Man 2 train fight scene with Killmonger as Dr. Octopus, and then Spider-Man's...
Why are you doing this to yourself? Don't do that.
Because it's hilarious. You just gotta think about it.
I refuse to think.
Michael B. Jordan as Dr. Octopus, but like with his suit opening, you see all the scars and everything.
I refuse to.
And then you just have
refuse to
Black
think
Panther
about this.
fighting
I am
Dr.
refusing to think about this. Tim.
Think about it.
No.
It's hilarious. He's a hero.
But yeah, I guess we have a new way to interrupt people if we don't want them to talk.
What's that? I forget.
Do you remember? Like Martin Freeman tries to talk when he's in the one place in the mountains with that one tribe. And they're just like, oh!
Oh yeah.
So they don't want him to talk.
Because that's Manape. That's Manape. And Manape's not a villain. Manape's not a villain.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I was talking.
Yeah.
Manape's
so he just does that just to interrupt him and shut him up, and I'm just like, I like it.
He's also the only white guy there, so they probably don't care for him.
Well, I think that was another positive thing people had said about the movie, was that there are white people in the film, but they're not the main focus. They're your focus is still on black cast of the film, as it should be.
Yeah, it's based in Africa. Black cast. There's the Asian actors from South Korea. They go in the bar in South Korea, and there's pretty much everyone. There's Americans, there's Asians, there's other people. There's probably an alien in there.
Yeah.
Thanos is just getting a drink.
He's got a nice tux.
Yeah, Stan Lee's in there, still on Chadwick Boseman's chips. After he bets it all in front.
No, Martin Freeman's chips.
I thought it was Chadwick Boseman's
No.
chips.
No, it was Martin Freeman's chips. Because I remember because of the look on his face after it happened.
No, doesn't Chadwick Boseman put all the chips down and leaves? Like, and then Stanley's like, I'll just watch these for him.
Something like that, but I remember, I don't know.
I don't know. Yes.
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 Just yes.
Yes.
So, I guess the two last things I'd like to say is, of course, to the cast. Amazing work from the cast.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Chadwick Boseman, he's freaking 41, by the way.
What?
He does not look that old
No,
at
he
all.
doesn't.
He looks like he just hit 30.
Oh, yeah.
But so, top marks to him. And to be honest with you, it's still very weird. You know, right after I watched the movie and then I watched, interviews.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, oh right, he actually doesn't have that accent. I think he's from South Carolina. So he's got an American accent there. It just sounded weird because he does so well with the accent that he uses as T'Challa.
Well, you see, I complained of the speculation we did about his accent in the trailers, but in the movie, I just didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
The accent didn't bother me, but in the trailers it did. Maybe they reshot some of the trailer scenes or something, but the accent in the movie was good. Accent in the trailers, however, sounded monotone to me. I didn't really like it.
Yeah, so top marks to the cast, of course. Chadwick Boseman, of course. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger.
He's my favorite baseball player.
That was no, that's the other one.
He's my favorite Rocky.
Yes. Rocky protege.
Ivan Drago.
And of course, all the female members of the cast. Lupita, who I don't know.
Did they all shave their head or did they wear ball caps?
I think they went well for that, but I wouldn't know. I don't know the name of all the actresses, but of course, the commander of the warriors.
For those willing to put up with being bald, we salute you.
Lupita's character, which was sort of he's basically a spy, right?
Basically.
Sort of.
Kind of Black Panther's girlfriend.
And then, Black Panther's, love interest, Lupita, because I can remember the name of the actress, but or at least her first name. And then of course the sister.
Sister's really good.
The way the characters interacted all felt pretty natural.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it felt really that forced at all. So, and of course the last thing I want to bring up is the music. Because the music is something I always look forward to in movies I want to go to, if it's Marvel or anything else. And
Ian likes music.
I do like music. And I was excited to see what they were going to do in Black Panther. Because I knew, I was aware of Kendrick Lamar's album that he had made, so I knew that there was going to be some hip-hop.
How about this? There's a paradox with it, because he made a certain song just for Black Panther, but it's in the movie, of course, but it's in the South Korean bar. But the characters in here as well. It's sort of the thing that characters can hear, we can hear as well. So this is a thing that he made specifically for Black Panther, but also exists in the Marvel universe.
Oh well.
Oh well.
But yeah, because I knew that there was going to be this hip hop influence. There's going to be sort of a rap thing going on there. Which I felt was just that's not the music that I personally listen to, but I respected it because I was like, this fits within the movie. This fits the character.
Oh yeah, it did fit the character.
And it's not just in the album itself. You can also hear it in the score because the composer Ludwig, I can't say his last name. I'm sorry, but he incorporates those hip hop elements into Killmonger's theme as we heard in the very beginning, because that fits the character.
Yeah.
That's part of the character. And then of course you got more of your African sound and your ethnic sound, which really fit.
Yeah.
Which really fit. Yeah. There's really only one moment in the entire movie, and it was really towards the beginning, when it became more orchestral, more your traditionally heroic sounding, that it kind of detracted from me. Not too much. Don't get me wrong. But I think the music was at its best when it was, the sort of the ethnic sounding, or in the hip hop sense.
Yeah.
For Killmonger.
I would agree with you there. The music was really great.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do one last thing. Ian likes to talk more than me, but let's say Ian,
Yes.
Killmonger. How would you rank him on the Marvel villains list?
Marvel villains.
Yeah, in like the Marvel villain scale of how good is he? Like I don't know. What's your favorite Marvel villain? I should say. So we'll put the bottom of the list of Whiplash. I'll put the top of the list. What's your favorite Marvel?
I put at the bottom of the list the one character from the Dark World.
Whiplash and Dark Elf guy.
Dark Elf dude. Top of the
What's your favorite Marvel villain?
an argument can be made for the top of the list is Loki.
That's true. Yeah.
But he sort of has an unfair advantage that you see him for multiple movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to diss on him either because I think he plays a good villain.
Oh yeah.
Tom Hiddleston does a good job as the villain.
He plays a good redeemed villain as well. He's kind
For
of
sure.
I'm sure now if he makes his application to the Avengers, Thor will put his seal of approval on it.
He won't though.
Yeah.
I think he's going to help them, but he's not going to. Killmonger's definitely up there.
So we'll put the top of the list is Loki. Would you how close is he to Loki to you?
Well, let me go through my movies again just to see which villains I also liked, because Robert Redford's character in Winter Soldier I also really liked.
The one Shield guy that was Nick Fury's friend.
The secretary.
The secretary. Yeah.
Secretary character. Pierce. Robert Pierce.
Secretary Pierce. Yeah.
And I guess because he was the main villain, because of course you had the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And I'll put him up there as well. But Robert Redford's character is the main villain, and he did a fantastic job in the Winter Soldier. Zemo, I also really enjoyed Zemo.
Yes, Zemo was great actually.
Because he made his point at the end of the movie. It's just like, my plan is not to destroy the world. Here.
Destroy the Avengers.
It's just to destroy the Avengers.
It's
just to get some revenge here. And then he's just like, and I knew I couldn't destroy them, but if I could get them to destroy themselves, my mission's complete.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. Even if Age of Ultron could have been better,
Yeah.
and Ultron as a villain could have been a little better, I still like the James Spader's performance.
Oh, James Spader was great.
As Ultron was perfect. But anyway, back to Killmonger.
Killmonger on your Marvel's villain list. Where is he?
So if we put, just for the sake of off the top of our heads, if we gave more thought about this and went over each one, because Obadiah Stane, I think Jeff Bridges did a good job for the first installment in the MCU as the first villain.
Oh yeah.
In having a connection with, his character having a personal connection with Tony.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I'm continually getting sidetracked because I'm continually thinking about different villains. I think you'd put it as, for me, it would be maybe Loki, and then Zemo, and then Killmonger. But that's really hard to decide.
Yeah.
That's really difficult.
Yeah. There's a lot of MCU villains.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some that are good, some that are Whiplash, or the Dark Elf guy.
And it's just really hard to even put Loki at the top just because of his character arc over the movies. So
yeah, but when he's a villain, he does a good job being a villain.
I just need to remember that.
Yeah. I put Killmonger probably top 5, maybe like 6. Number 6. I don't know what my favorite villains are. I had to find out.
Yes, that's just really difficult.
Alright, oh shoot, we've almost done like a full episode. It was a shorter episode. Right.
We lied!
Yeah, we lied. Alright, quickly. HR, anything?
Nope.
Alright, my brother watched the episodes and got mad at me for not liking Black Panther's accent. I did like it in the movie, not in the trailers. Alright. Alright, well...
We've made our point.
We made our point. Alright, everyone.
Yeah.
We wish you a happy Esther. That's not the season's name. Esther is a woman, so...
Yeah, guys, spring break for us. So,
Yeah.
happy fun times.
Happy fun
We'll
times.
see you guys next time.